How would you want to be remembered, Lynne?
Somebody said to me very recently, look at all that you've accomplished. I go, I guess, but what's the most important thing to me is that I've been a good mom to my kids.
What message does your older, wiser self have for your 21-year-old self?
It gets better.
Your dream job as a kid?
I had many, but one of them included being a police officer. There were not very many women police officers back then.
One leader you admire and why?
Winston Churchill always comes to mind. Determined, smart, appreciated history and how it mattered in future decisions.
Your biggest leadership failure?
I tried to please too many people. Sometimes means you can't please everybody and you become, too diluted in what you're doing.
The best advice you ever got?
Go to law school.
The biggest risk you've ever taken?
Deciding to build a second home, which was really, really expensive with no money saved for the purpose.
Your greatest gift?
I am a very calm person.
Your biggest fear?
Poor health in the future.
Rule follower or rule breaker?
Follower.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Hawaii.
One thing that you're excited about this year?
Getting out of COVID.
One thing that keeps you up at night?
I'm not a big worrier. Having said I'm not a big worrier, clearly I am worrying. I've got some stress in my head and neck right now, so I obviously have some worry, but I don't fixate on things, and so I'm not kept awake.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Happy, interested, concerned.
One book everyone should read.
Well, aside from the Bible, I'd have to say that. I'm going to do a bit of self-promotion. Read my book, The Mending.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what will it be?
Don't close any doors.
Dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Earlier in COVID, I had said my son because I hadn't seen him in so many months, but that won't be very interesting. So, the Queen.
Now I'm going to call out a word and you tell me what each word means to you in 1 sentence. Law.
An ordered society, which I think is very important to the safety of women and children in particular.
Healthcare.
Healthcare is something that is very important to Canadians. It's something that I think we should insist on having more of and better healthcare.
Leadership.
When I think of leadership, I think of politicians, but I also think of leaders of businesses. Right now, our eyes are very much on our political leaders, but in fact, many of our business leaders are the ones that are making a big difference in how we're leading our lives during this time.
Diversity.
A way of life now. It's something that is important and right. So we talk a lot about making sure our workforces are diverse, which is the right thing and which will also lead for better business outcomes.
Success.
Success is something that we should all aspire to. We will not all have the same degrees of success. Life isn't fair that way, but it is something we should all aspire for.
Dreams.
Dreams are something that we all have. We all set our sights on something. It's through our dreams, and it's good to have those goals and objectives.
Legacy.
It's being a good mother, but I wouldn't mind if I also have a legacy as being a good lawyer, a good mentor, a good author, a good friend.
Passion.
We all have passions and we should find some way to pursue them. It won't necessarily be in our work. People who have passion in their workplace are very blessed. Lots of people just have work that is a job. But if that's the case, explore and pursue your passions in your spare time.
Retirement.
Yes, something that I am looking forward to. I will be retiring in about 5 or 6 years. I will not stop working per se, but I expect that I will stop being a Bay Street lawyer once I retire.
Team.
So important to have good teams. I've got a great team that I work with. I have teams also to do with my book project. We have teams even in terms of how we live our lives within our neighborhoods, within the organizations that we belong to. So really important.
Money.
We need enough to do what we feel we have to do. But money in and of itself has never been a big motivator for me. COVID, when I think about COVID, I think of how it has changed our lives, but I like to look for how it has changed our lives in good ways. I think it's brought us back to basics in some ways, which was a good thing to do. I talk to my mother-in-law every day on the phone and have now for over a year. Before COVID, I would have spoken to her on the phone once a week. I speak to my parents every single day. So I look for the good things that have come from COVID, but I can't wait for it to be over.